And good evening again, everybody. Meteorologist Justin Fanfarelli back here in the KNOP News 2 Weather Center. We are going to go wall to wall for a tornado that is getting very close to the city of Ogallala. Let's take a look at what we have as of right now. We do have multiple tornado warnings in effect, but I would say as of right now, if you are in the city of Ogallala or basically anywhere in central Keith County, take your tornado precautions right now. That is, get into a small interior room away from windows. We do have several reports of confirmed tornadoes in the area, including a couple of more tornado warnings in effect. So let's go over the tornado warnings as of right now. We do have a new one. This one is for Keith County, basically from Ogallala and now including Paxton, and points off to the south, and that does include the northern portion of Perkins County. Let's take a look at what the new text says. It looks like there is a radar-indicated tornado not right now hitting the city of Ogallala. So if you're in Ogallala, get into your safe space right now. If possible, get underground. The Roscoe area, around 6 p.m. Mountain Time, this observed tornado is going to be near your area in Paxton around 6:20 p.m. Mountain Time. So this is definitely a dangerous situation. We do have multiple tornado warnings that are getting close to some of our big population centers, if not hitting the Ogallala area right now. So this is the highest level of alert that we do have for the people watching from Ogallala to Paxton and points off to the south. That new tornado warning is in effect until 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So they're issuing it for the next half hour or so. So we'll be with you here until the threat is over. So we want to go over all the warnings as of right now. We will highlight them. We do have this tornado warning, and there is a big tornado signature just off to the north of Ogallala. So we do have that. Basically, this tornado warning that is highlighted up here, that is from the northern shores of Lake McConaughey and points off to the north. Not a lot of population up in that direction, but people could be outdoors on the lake, and especially areas off to the north. There is a big tornado signature that I will show you after we get past all of these warnings. So that is north central Keith County, just off to the north of the city of Ogallala. And we do have another, this is a radar indicated tornado warning, just off to the north and off to the east of the city of Ogallala in this box up here. Again, not a lot of population in that direction. That one does go until 6:15 p.m. Mountain Time. We have another one that is, not that one, but we'll clear that. We'll try it. We do have a tornado warning that is an observed tornado warning that is off to the south and to the west of the city of Ogallala. That one does go for the next 15 minutes, so that will be expiring for portions of southwestern Keith County. And the National Weather Service just extended another big tornado warning. This is the latest one here. It is officially an observed tornado warning. Looks like weather spotters have confirmed this tornado. So that's why we're on. That's why we're going to stay on for a little while to cover it as it makes its way through the city of Ogallala. That's our biggest city right now that is under a confirmed tornado warning. It looks like we do have weather spotters that have spotted tornadoes south of the city of Ogallala and another one off to the north, but they put that tornado warning in effect from Ogallala to Paxton and basically from the Madrid area to Elsie and points off to the north. That is that box. Grant is not involved in that warning. Wallace is not involved in that warning. Sutherland is also not involved in that warning. So if you're out towards Sutherland, Wallace, be aware there could be a warning in the future. But as of now, you're not in that warning. These tornado warnings also have a severe thunderstorm warning. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But I also want to show you this new severe thunderstorm warning. And this one is for a number of counties. We'll read this off to you. This severe thunderstorm warning, in effect, it does go until 7. It goes over time zone borders. So 7:45 p.m. Central, 6:45 p.m. Mountain Time. That is for portions of Arthur, Keith, Lincoln, and McPherson County. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, we're also looking at this severe thunderstorm to be destructive now, it looks like. Wind gusts of 80 miles per hour are developing from this storm. Even though we do have multiple tornado warnings in effect right now, tornadoes might not be your biggest threat. There's extremely large hail with this one, and of course now we're starting to get a Boeing echo. I would say that the tornado threat might be around for the next half hour to 1 hour, but there will be, most likely, these things stop rotating as much, and then it's already starting to get into a bow echo. So that basically means that it is turning into a wind maker, a straight line wind maker. Now, the straight line winds can do as much damage, especially when they get to that level, 80 miles per hour, as a tornado. But we do have good news. The box turned from maroon to red. So what that means, and this is the big storm right now in our viewing area. It went from a confirmed tornado warning to a radar indicated tornado warning. So we no longer have spotters reporting a tornado in this polygon here that does go from Ogallala to Paxton down to the LC area. Don't let your guard down from this one. As I was saying, the tornado might not be the main threat. It could be hail, it could be damaging winds. Now, let's take a look. I want to show you the hail right now, and then we'll start to look at the tornado signatures. So Ogallala right now looks like it is getting pounded with some hail. I know things are getting a little complicated here, but keep your eyes on the blue area. The blue right over the city of Ogallala, this shade of blue is indicative of 1 to 1.5 inch hail. That is quarter-sized to half-dollar-sized hail. Just off to the west of Ogallala, you're getting 1.5 to 2 inch hail. That is getting close to golf ball, maybe even in this area of the brightest purples here, maybe up to hen egg sized hail. So the main threat for Ogallala might not have been that tornado warning, because the tornado warning was basically off to the south, down around this direction, pointed out to you right here. But Ogallala definitely is getting huge hail right now. Also, just off to the south of Ogallala, we're getting huge hail. We're going to zoom in on this one. There's another huge hail core down here, but very little population center. So if you're off to, here's Highway 61, if you're off to the east, huge hail core, hen egg, maybe even, we're getting, in this purple area right here, we might be getting 2.5, maybe getting over 2.5. That's approaching tennis ball sized hail. The good news is that's not hitting a population center. We're kind of concerned about this Ogallala storm right here. Hopefully, an observed tornado has moved off to the south, but it looks like they are getting a lot of hail from this one. So still right now, if you're in the Ogallala area, get in your safe space, because we do have that tornado warning. So it looks like they just canceled that other tornado warning. It looks like we're good if you're along, say, the central portion of Lake McConaughey is here. And off to the west, very good news. It looks like things are improving for you. If you're on the eastern or northeastern side of Lake McConaughey, we still got some hail, maybe a tornado threat up in this direction. I do want to look at the storm relative velocity. And we had a big signature of rotation. We can actually rewind. Keep your eye on the clock on there, because we're going to scroll back and forth, and we're going to look at this tornado. Right there, at around, that is 6:45 Central on my map, because we are based in the Central Time Zone here. Subtract an hour, that is 5:45. We had a big tornado signature. That looks like probably about 5 miles north of Ogallala, not hitting the population center. And then this storm developed, and this is looking more like a hail and a wind event. Now, greens are getting close to red. There is a lot of rotation with these storms. Rotation is kind of giving us that hail we talked about. So even though it looks like the tornado threat is lowering, not zero, but lowering, that is actually good news for everybody out there. Let's take a look at this is the debris tracker, and we just want to show this to you. This might not be tornado debris, but this might be straight line winds. Where you see, and this is our new this is our new tool. Where you see these reds here, that is precipitation or any airborne objects that is the same in terms of consistency. Think of hailstones. Hailstones have the same consistency. When you start getting into these greens and these yellows, that is objects in the air that are of different consistencies. Think of if a tornado is destroying a barn, it's going to pick up pieces, it's going to break that barn apart, but it's going to pick up pieces of wood that are different consistency than the hailstones, than the raindrops. This red area here is like 100% consistency. As we get down to this green area, that's getting closer to 0%. So it looks like debris is being picked up. Now, there's no guarantee that this debris that's being picked up is from a tornado. It might have been earlier, but it looks like this is turning into a wind system. It's picking up dust. It might be blowing around leaves. It might be blowing around maybe objects if it does get up to 80 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the warnings once again and show you where we are right now. It is currently 7:07 Central Time, but out toward Ogallala, 6:07 p.m. Mountain Time. It looks like this, we do have a tornado warning. Looks like it's not going to be in effect much longer out here, this maroon box. And it looks like we do have another tornado warning, so let's start with that one. We're still tracking those storms off to the north of Ogallala. New tornado warning in effect. That does go until 6:30 Mountain Time for now portions of northeastern Keith County. It looks like if you're north of Paxton, if you're north of especially Highway 30, there is another system up here. It is avoiding population centers. Let's put a track on this one. And through the warning, looks like we do have one population center there. So watch out in the Brogansville area. There is a possible tornado heading to you, and the estimated time is around 4 minutes from now, 6:12 p.m. Mountain Time. But very rural areas up in that direction, but they're still dealing with, that's probably where the most rotation is. So that's good news for Ogallala to Paxton, the populated areas along I-80 and Highway 30 and points off to the south. So I wouldn't let your guard down. If you do live just off to the north of Highway 30, we're getting more tornado warnings up in that direction, but we are concerned mainly about this big tornado warning here, about a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Here's the box once again that we're the main weather maker in our viewing area right now. And this is the tornado warning that's in effect for another 20 minutes until 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That is for Keith and Perkins County. Let's take a look at how this is developing once again. It looks like we have a little notch on there. Now, at any time, these storms could put down a tornado, but also they're big hail producers. And it looks like we do have something here that has just developed in the last 10 minutes or so. We are getting a nice couplet right here with the greens next to the reds. The good news about this is, let's take a look at where Ogallala is. Ogallala is getting pounded with hail, so you should still be in your safe spot if you're in Ogallala, but this is about 10 or 11 miles off to the south, now moving off to the east. So this is, let's measure that again. It's actually moving pretty quickly, so even in the time it took for me to measure that, about 10 miles off to the southeast of Ogallala, moving away from the city now. And I'm going to put a little bit of a track on this. Keep your eye on the clock. Remember, the clock is Central Time because we're based in the Central Time Zone. It looks like it is moving off to the, it's making that right turn as it strengthens, but that's good news. We want this to miss the city of Paxton. So maybe it's making a right turn off to the south. It is getting away from populated areas. I don't like to see big tornado warnings over populated areas, especially from Ogallala and off to Paxton. So it is getting more rural, but still, if there is a tornado on the ground, this is radar indicated right now. That's the possible path for that one as these systems continue to make their way through. I also want to look at up here. This is the rural tornado in just off to the north of Ogallala and Paxton. Once again, These are radar indicated tornadoes. It looks like, I don't believe that we do have an observed tornado on here anymore. And it looks like in the latest one, it looks like the rotation is starting to weaken. So right there, that was about 8 minutes ago. We're going to move forward in time. It looks like that's weakening. Wouldn't let your guard down if you live up in that direction. And it looks like this is becoming more of a hail and wind event other than a rotating tornado possibility. So that's good news. So we'll continue to keep you updated as we make our way through the next, let's say about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll stick with this for another 5 to 10 minutes and make sure that Ogallala and Paxton and points off to the south are clear of the threat from this one. But here's the once again, the main warning across the area, the population centers. Ogallala is, well, before I say that Ogallala is getting out of the woods from this one, I want to look at the hail tracker because, and I'm going to try to get these warnings off here because I zoomed in way too far, but I'm going to try to get these warnings off so we can show you the hail from this one. Ogallala, it looks like, just got pounded with hail. Light blue on this is about quarter-sized hail. Dark blue is getting closer to just over $half. Maybe that dark blue is ping pong ball sized hail. And Ogallala just got a lot of hail in the last 15 minutes. It looks like that activity is moving off to the east. So there most likely is going to be a lot of damage from hail in Ogallala, unfortunately, if not by the hail, by the wind, and maybe a possible tornado. But it looks like, as of right now, the possible tornado missed Ogallala to the north and off to the south. But still, these are the hail cores. These are, nothing to mess around with, because you're seeing some purples on this map. That is over 2-inch hail. This is getting close to golf ball sized hail, especially, say, about 10 miles off to the south and to the west of Ogallala. Rural areas. We're also looking at this storm here for a potential tornado, but the good news is it's moving off to the south of Paxton, off to the south of populated areas. So that's pretty good news here. We're going to have to see about the damage this did cause. In the Madrid area, points off to the north, the Grant area. Grant areas, let's take a look at the radar as of right now. And looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. It basically is for Perkins County and points off to the south. It does include Grant and Madrid and points off to the south. That does go until 7 p.m. Mountain Time. They're no longer issuing tornado warnings on this storm. Tornado possible with this storm. But it looks like we're in a severe thunderstorm warning as these storms move from a tornado threat to more of a wind and hail threat. Still keeping our eyes on a lot of warnings across the region. Let's take a look at all of them once again, just to keep you updated. Let's go over the tornado warnings first. This one up here, about to expire. That actually will expire in about 1 minute, so 6:15 Mountain Time. That's for just north of Ogallala, rural areas. It was basically replaced by this one right here, just off to the north of Paxton, continuing to be rural. This one does go until 6:30. That's a Doppler radar indicated tornado. That other tornado, basically this one right here, let's clear that. This one right here is going to expire. That's good news. There it goes. So, good news. Ogallala now and points off to the west. We are almost in the all clear from this one. So we did get some hail. Most likely a tornado went off to the north of Ogallala. When all is said and done, a tornado went off to the south of Ogallala. But the city was definitely in the hail core and might have really gotten some 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. This main tornado warning, it still goes from Ogallala to Paxton and down toward the Elsie area, just off to the north of Madrid, which is not in the warning, but in a severe thunderstorm warning. If you live in this area, definitely get in your safe space, but it looks like if there is a possible tornado, it looks like it would be right here. You can see this notch, and that is getting away from the population centers, getting into rural areas. Also, we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, as I said, this is turning in, these systems usually start off rotating enough to produce tornadoes. Then they get into more of a hail event, and then they become more of a wind event. And we are seeing that because we do have, and there is another tornado warning that just popped up in this one. We do have, okay, this is over the city of Grant right now. We do have a spotter indication of an observed tornado. Let's read this right from the National Weather Service. This is a new tornado warning is in effect for southeastern Perkins County from Grant, points off to the south and east. That does go until 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Spotters have confirmed a tornado and possibly golf ball-sized hail making its way through the Grant area. So this is a new one that just developed. And we're going to crawl some tornado tips for everybody south of Ogallala and from Grant. Grant is going to be under the gun for probably another 5 to 10 minutes. Most likely spotters in that area saw the tornado, and they've issued the warning for rural areas off to the south and east of Grant. Here's a look at the velocity once again, and we'll take a look at the tornado debris signature. If there's not a lot of tight rotation here, let's go back a few frames. It looks like that, and seeing tight rotation on this map you're looking at does not necessarily mean there isn't a tornado, but we are keeping our eyes on where the greens and reds are next to each other. It looks like it's just off to the south and off to the east of the city of Grant, but it is moving away from populated areas. Basically where Highway 61 meets Highway 23, we do have a confirmed tornado moving off to the south and to the east. Here's where it would be. This is where it's going. It is going to rural areas. Grant is going to be in that, basically Grant is going to be in that tornado threat for basically another 5 to 10 minutes at most. Then it's going to move into the rural areas south of Madrid and Elsie. But tornado is not the only threat. Let's take a look one more time at the hail core. Good news about this one is it's sub-severe hail, so that is less than quarter-sized hail from this one. But as I said, these storms are becoming stronger in terms of straight-line winds. I want to show you the severe thunderstorm warnings that we do have. We're going to zoom out here. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Basically, Perkins County, this is basically the same area as that tornado. It is off to the south and off to the east of the Grant area. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds, so it looks like the strongest storms now are way up to the north. So that storm down there most likely is in its tornado phase, but these storms up here in this box that I've just highlighted. So that is a severe thunderstorm warning that does cross a time zone border. It does go until 7:45 Central Time for portions of Lincoln and McPherson counties, and 6:45 Mountain Time expiration in Arthur and Keith counties. So that's the box where we do have the best possibility of the 80-mile-per-hour winds, a destructive thunderstorm. So let's take a look at the rotation one more time. Here is the debris tracker. It looks like if there is a tornado on the ground, it still looks to be just off to the south and to the east of Ogallala. So about 10 miles south and east, and then moving off to the south and east from that one into rural areas just off to the north of Madrid and Elsie. Not a lot of... This Grant tornado is, it looks like if there is one on the ground, it is a weak one. We're not seeing a lot from it on radar, just a little bit of rotation. It is now moving off to, we'll say it's about right here, but it is moving off to the south and to the east, so that's moving away from populated areas, so that's good news in that direction. So if there is a tornado on the ground, I would say it's probably now about 10 miles southeast of Ogallala, which means that Ogallala is, getting better in terms, I don't know if we want to put an all clear out for Ogallala yet, but definitely still be in your safe space. There could still be some strong gusty winds, but the strongest storm is moving away. And let's measure this. This possible tornado now is probably about 11 miles north or northwest of Madrid, and that is it looks like it is moving away from the city too. So that's good news. And Let's take a look one more time. It looks like the rotating storms, the tornado producers, are getting away from the populated cities, might be able to get you back to regular programming. I want to take a look one more time at this storm, and then we will send you back, and then we will keep our eyes on this one. As it approaches North Platte, we might be back on here in a little while longer, but I say the main threat, if you're in rural areas about 10 miles south or southeast now of Ogallala, watch out for the possibility of a tornado. About 5 miles southeast of Grant, possibility of tornado. And we also have this small possibility of a tornado north of Paxton. That's also in rural areas. But right now, it's starting to bow. You're seeing a bow echo here. This area is where, from Paxton to Elsie, eventually out towards Sutherland, and areas just off to the west of Tryon, we do have the possibility of 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. Let's zoom out and see if there's anything else. Valentine getting some general thunderstorms, so is most of the Sandhills, just some rain up toward Mullen and Arthur. So this is the main storm. So if you do live in North Platte, these storms most likely half hour to an hour out. So what we're going to do is we are going to, that's all the information we have now. We're going to send you back to regular programming, and if necessary, we will be on again to cover the storms for the North Platte area. And we are always online on our website, knopnews2.com/weather. You can track it along with it, including that interactive radar. And we also have the radar on our weather app. Until then, we're going to send you back to regular programming already in progress.
Talking about drop zeros, huh? Oh, snap. Look like I dropped one right here.